quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. This little section in the book of James has some of the most important practical wisdom that I could ever give you. So let's look here in James chapter 1, verse 19. It says, "Know this, my beloved brothers." So notice he's talking to them with affection. James is writing to these people and he really cares about them. He wants them to be blessed and to be joyful. And that's why he's giving them this advice here. He says, "Let every person be quick to hear." Listen to each other. Be eager to learn. Be eager to listen and understand. Someone said that we shouldn't just listen to respond. We should listen to understand. We shouldn't just constantly be listening and be like, okay, when can I say something? Oh, I'm going to say something now. No, we need to listen to actually understand what someone is saying. That's just wisdom of how to treat those around you. Genuinely listen to understand what they're saying. And we're going to see soon that even more importantly, we need to be quick to listen to God in His Word. We'll get to that in a moment. He says, quick to hear, slow to speak. Slow to speak. Think twice before you open your mouth. And I believe this also will apply to social media. Think twice before you type something out and post it. James really beats this drum throughout his entire letter to these people about how dangerous our words can be, how our words have power to destroy. We need to be slow to speak. There's a temptation for us to just want to be quick and witty and always have a zinger to say at just the right moment. But James would rather be thoughtful and wise. James would rather be patient with his words, not diving headfirst into an argument, and definitely not diving headfirst into some social media comment war or anything like that. He says, pause, be slow to speak, quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. It's amazing how all of these things work together, this idea of listening and speaking and anger. Whenever we are quick to speak and whenever we're not listening to other people, it tends to make us angry. And the reverse happens too. When we're angry, we tend to not listen to people and we tend to want to just speak up and we tend to just want to be louder than other people. This eagerness to speak and failure to listen can be both a cause and a result of anger. And what does that anger produce? Well, I'll tell you what it doesn't produce. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. It doesn't produce the righteousness of God. We may think that what we are saying is right, but if we're just blurting it out in a rage, it's not righteous, no matter how correct we think it is. Now, because of all this, therefore, put away all filthiness and rampant wickedness. Those are some brutal terms. It is connecting these things, filthiness and rampant wickedness, to being quick to speak and quick to anger. That if we have an unbridled tongue, if we're just saying whatever we want to in a violent rage, just blurting it out, that this is equivalent to filthiness and rampant wickedness. But he says instead, receive with meekness, gentleness, the implanted word. The implanted word. This makes me think about in Colossians 3, whenever Paul tells the people at the church of Colossae, he tells them, let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. How is that going to happen? Well, we have to listen to it. We have to hear it, right? This goes back to us being quick to hear, quick to listen. That's how we get the implanted word. Let it dwell richly in you. Y'all, speech and anger don't produce righteousness. They don't. It makes it very clear in here. But to be contrasted with that, the implanted word is able to save your souls. How does the word save your souls? Well, Romans 1 tells us the gospel is the power of God to salvation. This good news that's in the Word of God about how Jesus came for us and He gives us His righteousness and He takes away our sin. That is what saves us. That's how the Word of God is able to save our soul. Not when we're blurting out whatever we want to say because we're quick to speak, or we're arguing about whatever we want to argue about because we're quick to anger. No, let us be quick to listen to this Word of God that gives us the gospel that saves our souls.